Hey guys, welcome to the channel. As you see in the thumbnail, what if Issei by Gabriel Part 2. Before I start, please do support for more awesome content and subscribe my channel and like this video, and also go support the Sir Juis High for writing that awesome fanfic. Let's start this video. Asked a blonde-haired beauty that was standing in front of me, 12 pure white wings growing onto her back, and there was a transportation circle drawn on the floor of my house. After spending the night with me, Gabriel said that she must leave to do some work at the heavens. I'm sorry, but I really need to get back there. Don't worry, Ice, I'll return tomorrow. Revealing a beautiful smile, Gabriel patted my head before walking towards the transportation circle and activating it. A bright flash happened, and before I knew it, Gabriel was already gone. Well, I guess that I'm alone again, huh? Don't say that as if I never existed. The dragon inside me complained. His name was Drag, a heavenly dragon of Welsh, and he was a sacred gear that was sealed inside me. Though it's been only a day since I talked to him for the first time, I don't really feel bothered by the fact that there's an ultra-powerful dragon that was sealed inside me. So, I should better go to school. I haven't been able to remember anything after I lost consciousness. But I'm really glad that Gabriel didn't fight Gremory Senpai. Picking up my bag and taking a sandwich on the table, I got out of the house while idly walking towards school. And along the way, I happened to sense a weird presence, but they're different from devils, a sensation that gives chills throughout my body. I looked at the other side of the street to see three girls. One was wearing a nun outfit, while the other two were wearing white robes. One of them was a blonde girl with a refreshing face, while the other one owns a blue hair with green mesh and a pair of scary looking eyes, definitely an idiotic girl with brute strength. The last girl was a brown-haired beauty with purple eyes, and she seemed very energetic. She reminds me of a childhood friend of mine when I was a kid. That kid always plays the hero role with me. He moved out of town, and I don't have any information about him now. Seemingly noticing my stare, or rather my strange presence, the three church-related girls looked at me. While the blue-haired girl eyed me from head to toe, the brown-haired girl smiled happily before waving both of her hands at me. Ice Kun. As if she knew me, the girl called my name before running towards me. She held my hands and stared at me with an energetic expression on her face. Do I know you? You don't remember me, we're neighbors back then, I always played with you. It's me, Shidu Arena. Hey? Aren't you supposed to be a boy? So you also mistook me as a boy back then? That can't be helped, I was a delinquent and naughty back then. Ah, I see. So Arena was actually a girl. I never thought of that, since he or she seems like a boy when we were younger and now she's a human's growth is really unpredictable. Do you know him, Arena? I can feel that he's not a human. The blue-haired girl along with the blonde one walked towards us and asked Arena. Arena blinked for a moment before realizing that my presence was not of those ordinary humans. She then looked at me with teary eyes as she asked, "No way, don't tell me that Ice-kun is now a devil or mutated being. Don't be ridiculous, I'm not either of those, I'm just a boy who possesses a very extraordinary sacred gear. I bet that you already know about those, right?" "Well, it's only been a day since I discovered that," I replied while shyly scratching the back of my head, "so I am not considered a human anymore, huh? That's very saddening to hear. For the record, you're not a human to begin with, is that so? You possess a sacred gear, huh? What a coincidence to meet you, I am Zenobia. I'm also glad to meet the friend of Arena-san, my name is Asia Argento. Please treat me well." The two nuns introduced themselves as they greeted me. I also returned the introduction while talking with them. They said that they were going into the Kuo Academy and talking with the devils there. I was very surprised since I thought that they were gonna fight Gremory Senpai, but they said that they will just talk to them about some matters happening in this town. The truth is, I'm not really interested in that business even if they are sent by the Vatican. I'm just glad that there's gonna be no trouble when talking with the devils. Just when we were chatting while walking towards school, we happened to pass by a family restaurant, and that moment, their stomach crumpled. It seems that they remembered that they hadn't eaten anything. They took out their rations, which was bread that was harder than steel. "Don't you have anything to eat besides that? It's our only rations, we should be really thankful since we can eat. Who am I kidding? This stinks. We're risking our lives for a job here, and we get these craps to eat. I want steak." "You don't say, Zenobia-san, we already used all of our money for the painting that Arena-san bought." "That painting? It doesn't even look like a saint. It's just a doodle of a man with wings. He is obviously an avian. That was Saint Peter. Don't say bad things about him. That wasn't obviously Saint Peter. We just wasted our money for that crap." They started to argue and fight. Asia-san tried to stop them, but she wasn't helping. Geez, they call themselves exorcists from the church, yet they're like this. Well, I guess Gabriel-san won't mind if I used some of the money she gave to me. Then I'll treat you guys. I'm sure that eating that bread will provide no nutrition or energy for you to fight fallen angels, right? With my words, the girls stopped fighting and immediately said yes. In unison. So all they need is someone to treat them, huh? What a strange group of exorcists. Well, I guess that these guys can't possibly eat that much. I was dead wrong. These three seem like they haven't eaten in days. They just continue to order and devour and repeat the same process again. The money that I bought wasn't enough, but I was very lucky that there was a bank just in front of the restaurant, that's why I was able to pay for the bill. But since I couldn't be bothered, I also chowed down on some food, and I also ordered a lot, since I rarely eat outside, it's time for a change. I won't pay the bill if I just watched them eat while I was sick of eating the food that I made. The food was very good, amen. Thank you for your kindness, Issei-san. Yeah, Ice-kun, thanks for the meal, may the god bless you. After eating, these girls finally became content. They began to chatter things about how great God was, and it seems like they forgot the argument about the weird painting that Irina bought. Well, I don't want to say that the God from the Bible is dead, because I know that they aren't gonna be okay when they hear that. I'll also choose to hide the fact that Gabriel-san was indeed Gabriel of the Seraphs. By the way, Ice-kun, you're wearing a uniform, aren't you gonna be late to school? Nah, you know me, Irina. I didn't attend the first 4 subjects of school, I already passed all of them anyway. As expected of Ice-kun. But you should not cut classes, it'll bring a bad impression on your name. Irina began to talk again, and I knew that she wouldn't stop until she reached a confusing conclusion, that's why I rested in my chair while stretching my arms. I already got used to their presence, and I think that now I have raised my interest in their business. By the way, can you tell me some things about fallen angels? I really want to know about them, considering that I was almost killed by one of them the other day. I heard that the Grigori was being led by the Viceroy Azazel, who is said to be on the same level as Michael Sama. I also heard that he has an interest in rare sacred gears, and his hobby is to collect them. Also, the church has received too much damage from the Hakuryuiku which sided with them. Hearing the word Hakuryuiku, I immediately stood up and made Zenobia to repeat the word again. So the Hakuryuiku, who is my rival, is already beginning to fight and also sided with the fallen angels. The white one is already moving, and I can feel that Albion has awakened a long time ago. I can say that the gap between you two is already far. This is bad. I just recently awakened and now the Hakuryuiku are already attacking the church. How can I complete the goal to defeat him when I'm weak? I'm sure that if he finds out that Drake has also awakened, he will search for me and try to kill me. This is very bad. Juggernaut Drive. From the depths of my mind a cold voice muttered, but it quickly disappeared after saying that single word. Hey Drake, did you hear that? Hear what? Thinking that it is only my imagination, I ignored that voice as I watched the trio begin an argument about heretics and fallen angels. I sighed as I waited for them to finish their argument, ordering another meal of meat in the process. After the 5th subject, I went out of the classroom to slack off, and because of that, I also went to the occult research club to check out the happenings between Grimory Senpai and the church trio. But when I entered the room, the view which greeted me was Kiba-kun pointing a demonic sword towards Zenobia, who was also wielding a sword. But the sword that Zenobia was holding had a very powerful aura with it. That's the Excalibur, no, the correct term is a fragment of the Excalibur. One of the earlier Sekiryuite also owned one, and he said that the Excalibur broke and was divided into 3 pieces. Thanks for the lecture Drake-sama, but why is Kiba-kun pointing his sword against Zenobia? Did something happen? Why does he have those scary eyes? We were left to die in that place. My comrades were also killed mercilessly after they found out that we were unable to wield holy swords. And you're telling me that the church is right? Kiba-kun exclaimed with a rare enraged voice. Based on the sentence that I've heard earlier, I will guess the Kiba-kun were used as experiments for some holy sword project, and when they failed to wield them, they were killed. And he was saying something about the church. Nice deducting skills, you may be in the same class as Sherlock Holmes from earlier. Drake knows Sherlock Holmes from 200 years ago. Of course, he was also a Sekiryuite, but he didn't awaken because he was so weak. That incident also became one of the worst cases among us, and people felt disgusted about it. The person in charge of that project at that time was said to have a problem with his belief. So he was charged with heresy. Now he's one of those people on the fallen angel's side. On the fallen angel's side. What's the name of that person? Kiba took interest and asked Zenobia, though he wasn't letting his sword down, his eyes took a new light of determination. Alba Galilei. The man who is called the Genocide Archbishop. Alba Galilei, huh? I may have heard that name before. That's right, Gabriel also wrote that in her diary. About the Holy Sword problems with the Vatican. The Holy Sword Project. I remember reading that from her diary, the project which was led by Balba, but it failed just like the earlier experiments. I also read that not even one test subject survived, but it seems the Kiba-kun was a survivor before he became a devil. To thank you for this information, I'll give some of my knowledge as well. A few days ago, I was attacked by a person who had the Excalibur. At that time, he killed a priest. The one who was killed is probably from your organization. The name of the guy with the Excalibur was Fried Selzen. He's an exiled exorcist. Fried Selzen. Former exorcist of the Vatican. The genius who became an exorcist at the age of 13. He had lots of big achievements because he kept on eliminating devils and mythical beasts. But he overdid it. He even killed his allies. Fried never had any beliefs towards our god from the start. The only thing he had was fighting instinct and killing intent towards monsters. And an abnormal obsession for battles. It was a matter of time that he'd be charged for heresy. Asia San, Zenobia and Irina set in arrangements, so this Fried is an exiled exorcist. It seems that the church also has some problems like devils. I wonder if Gabriel San is getting any good rest because of the troubles. By the way, it's a good thing that only Kiba-kun and Taoju-san were here, because if Gremory Senpai was here, I'm sure that something bad would happen because of the two sides pointing swords at each other. Oh right. I'm gonna be introduced to the new devil-san here. I wonder who he is. Ah, so you're here, Ice-kun. Irina finally noticed my presence. Kiba-kun also noticed me and calmed down a little. I waved my hand weakly with a shy expression on my face. It seems that I disturbed their conversation earlier. If I go after fallen angels, then can I reach him? If you're going to fight against fallen angels, you should also take me. Besides, from that reason, I also need to meet Uma-chan after that incident. Kiba-kun and the church trio showed a surprised expression since I was joining a troublesome business, though I don't belong to any faction. My reason is simple, because I want to rid this town with those evil fallen, and the other one was to have revenge for you, Uma-chan, for almost killing me. And to think that you were raised by one of the seraphs. Be quiet, Drake, this has nothing to do with Gabriel-san. Even if I was raised by her, I'm not a human. That's why I don't need to follow all of her teachings. Noticing the dangerous gleam with my eyes along with a cold smile on my face, Kiba-kun nodded as he made the sword disappear. Zenobia also sealed the Excalibur and put it inside the white cloth with strange markings. After half an hour, Himejima Senpai went into my classroom and called me to follow her. Knowing the reason, I immediately nodded and walked out of class. I could feel the envious stares of boys from our class. Don't worry, I'm not planning to have a relationship anytime soon. The reason for her calling me was to introduce the new devil that was recruited 3 weeks ago and the other devils that were currently occupying Kuo Academy. Though I can feel their presence, I can't tell them apart. As expected, I'm still very weak. Just how am I going to fight the hacker Yuku in this state? Arriving in the room, I was greeted by the few people that were standing. There was also a girl that was sitting on the couch along with Gremory Senpai. I couldn't be mistaken. The other girl was Shitori Sona Kaichu, the student council president of Kuo. So this is the boy that was attacked by a fallen angel and surprisingly lived. Hey, isn't he one of the two princes of the school? The only male other than me spoke. There seems to be jealousy in his voice, but never mind that, I also faced a lot of jealous glares earlier. Saji, can you stop overreacting? This boy is also a sacred gear possessor just like you, treat him nice. No way, Kaichu. This guy is very popular just like Kiba. An enemy to all men. How can I get along with him? I remained silent while staring at the other figures in the room. All of them were part of the student council. Just like the occult research club, the student council is also composed of devils from another house. The president, Shitori Sona-sama's real name is Sona Citri. She's a high-class devil, the next heir of House Citri. The girl beside Kaichu said, I recognize her as the vice president, Shinra Tsubaki. I heard that she has a massive crush towards Kiba-kun. So, Kaichu is also a high-class devil like Gremory Senpai, huh? This sure is weird, two high-class devils sharing the same school. The House of Citri is one of the 72 pillars that survived the Great War, just like the houses of Gremory. This school is controlled by the House of Gremory, but during the day it's the student council, in other words, House Citri. Times in charge are split between day and night. Perhaps seeing the trouble in my expression, Himejima Senpai explained. I didn't know that it worked that way, nah, I don't really care anyway. The secretary dude began to speak. You guys have peaceful school lives because of the fact that the president and the servants of Citri are at work during the day. It doesn't hurt to remember that, you know. By the way, my name is Saji Genshuru. Second year in President's Pawn. Hello, I'm Issei and I guess you already know me judging from your reaction earlier. Anyway, I just woke up the other day, so please take care of me. Actually, you damaged my pride very badly. For you to have a rare sacred gear like me, I don't want to be recognized in the same class as you. You're a good-looking bastard that is the enemy of all men. What did you say? Oh? You wanna go? Even though I might look like this, I'm a pawn that consumed 4 pawn pieces. Even if I just turned, I won't lose to someone like Haidu. Saji provoked me, but the president glared at him sharply. Normally I would add honorifics, but this guy is too annoying. Why would he hate me for that reason? Oh wait, I also hate being addressed as a prince in this school. Saji, stop that. But President. The reason why we came here is to meet the rare sacred gear possessor who survived the attack of the fallen angel. In other words, it's a meeting to introduce you to Haidu Issei come. If you're my servant, then don't shame me. Besides, Haichu looked at me. Saji, you can't win against Haidu-kun right now. He's the one that destroyed the exiled devil vigor that was classified as a middle-class devil with just one punch. One punch he destroyed the exiled devil with only one punch. I really thought the one who killed that devil was Ria's Butchu or Akeno-senpai. Wait, what? What are they going on about? Also, can you stop staring at me with those weird eyes? I'm not an animal in a zoo on show. Just when I was in the middle of talking with Sona Kaichu, I felt a disgusting presence calling us. It also seems that Himejima-senpai also sensed that presence as she alerted the whole class to teleport in some unfamiliar place. Flash, at moment, we were teleported in the woods from a place that's most likely not Japan, since the surroundings were different and it was nighttime here. There, we saw a man sitting on a floating throne with 10 black wings. He was a fallen angel. But to have those many wings, he should be a powerful fallen angel who survived the Great War. This is our first time meeting, daughter of the House of Grimory and Citri. Seeing both of you reminds me of those fake masks. I suddenly felt the urge to vomit. The man made a provocative speech and there's a trace of hatred in his voice. To appear here personally by yourself, what are you planning, leader of fallen angels, Gabriel? Gabriel, isn't he recorded in the Bible and books? This is bad. There are other students in the school, it will be messy if a fight starts here. Especially if there's a strong existence here like him involved. This is a gift. He then threw the two people he was carrying at me. Oh. I reacted immediately and tried to catch them. It was Irina and Asia-san. What happened to them? They are both injured and panting heavily. Where is Zenobia? Don't tell me, she came into my base. So I gave her a welcome. Well, the other two are fighting freed not far from here. And the blonde boy managed to show something interesting. Gabriel said it with a laugh. From his story, those two must be Kiba and Zenobia. Yes, it's definitely them. Irina. I immediately laid them on the ground and Sona Kaichu used some water magic to ease their wounds. Soon, their expressions soften as the wounds on their body close and heal. This bastard Gabriel. How dare he do this? You bastard. I'll definitely make you pay for this. I yelled, but Gabriel just stared at me before laughing hard. What is this guy laughing about? I'm truly angered now and I won't hesitate to beat the crap out of him. I see, you're the kid that Gabriel raised. I know that she visits you very often. I like the eyes that you are showing. Maybe if I anger you, I would get in a good fight. But what should I do? It seems that you are very attached to Gabriel. How about I use you as her weakness? Then I'll rape her and demand that if she fights I'll kill you. Then she will fall and I'll turn her into my sex slave. Yup, having the most beautiful woman in heaven as my sex slave sounds nice. What do you think? With his words I felt like my anger was about to explode. I was already at my limit. This guy will rape Gabriel-san. He will dare to touch her. I won't forgive him. I definitely won't forgive this bastard. Even thinking such things about Gabriel-san is unforgivable. I will kill this bastard. My anger seemed to reach its maximum as I saw a blood-red aura covering my entire body. Inside me, something unexplainable was released. It spread. Something vast took over my mind. Within the rage that wouldn't fade, I saw it. The beginning of the universe. You attained it. Because of your anger you really managed to attain it. Braig laughed hard inside me. He wasn't stopping and just kept on laughing. Welsh Dragon Balance Breaker. The boosted gear that appeared by itself emitted a bright light. It wrapped itself in my entire body and turned into red armor. The whole armor had a shark shape. The gauntlet I always have on my left arm also was equipped to my right arm. The jewel that was present appeared in both my arms, shoulders, knees and the middle of the torso. On the back there was something like a rocket booster propulsion. Kaichu. What is happening to Haidu? The power that I can feel is definitely crazy. I can't stop shivering just from staring at that. This is the true awakening of a heavenly dragon. Gabriel. I shouted as I clenched both of my fists. My surroundings were already blown away and I'm floating over a huge crater. From my back, a pair of dragon wings appeared. Ha 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 ha. So you're the Sekiryuite, what fun. To think that Gabriel is keeping a legendary dragon, now I know why she raised you. Being excited by the sudden change from me, Gabriel raised his hand and created a light in the form of a spear. That's right, it's the same just like that girl Yuma-chan, but compared to her, the spear of Gabriel was 100 times larger and more powerful. He also created more of them until the sky was filled by disgusting lights. Oriana. Punching my right hand towards the giant spear, I deflected it while flying towards Gabriel and raising my other hand. Gabriel directly took my punch and blocked it with both of his hands. I again assaulted him with punches, but he was deflecting all of them by using lights. I need more power. Partner, for this first balance breaker you have limited time. 30 minutes is the most. By doubling your power, the time for the balance breaker will decrease by 5 minutes. You can only do 5 power-ups at maximum. But the question is, can you defeat Gabriel within a short time limit? I have to do it. This guy has ill intentions for Gabriel-san. How can I let him live? I will defeat him even if I need to use the Juggernaut drive. Boost. 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 25 minutes left. I know Drake. I will show this guy the power of the Welsh Heavenly Dragon. With my boosted power, I released a power that was enough to blow away the spears in the sky, but Gabriel created another batch of them. Thinking that it's useless to waste my time with those spears, I again assaulted him and I landed a punch, but he blocked by creating a dense spear into his hands. Still not enough. Boost. 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 I again doubled my power as I shot a power punch towards Gabriel. He created a defensive magic with another dense shield on light. He used the lights on the sky and aimed all of them at me, though I managed to dodge the big ones. I had problems evading the small ones that were numbering in thousands. The spears hit the armor, though it didn't break, I still felt the impact, my weak body felt the pain, and as expected, it was too much. This isn't enough to take me down. 11 minutes left. Is that all, Sekiruyute? I'll definitely have a good time with Gabriel tonight. Kahaha. I will kill you. What is this? The time for the balance breaker increased. Your basic stats also increased. Your blood, it has been releasing this power. Rot. I will kill you. I will kill you. I will definitely kill you. This aura. It's the same as those reapers from that uncivilized realm of the dead. Kahaha. So you have this power. Amazing. I ignored Gabriel's words as I flew and gave him a straight punch to the face. He tried to block it with his hand, but it also got crushed due to my force. I performed a sharp kick straight into his jaw. I didn't stop as I continued to send punches to him from all directions. With each punch and kick, I felt his bones being shattered, but my rage wasn't fading even by a bit. Partner, he is already in a near-death state, you should stop now. Stop. No, I won't stop till I killed this person. He should be punished for thinking about harming Gabriel-san. To tell the truth, it was just an excuse, because I couldn't stop myself. My whole body was desiring to kill the person in front of me. I want to kill this person so badly. Even my body was agreeing with me. If you want to protect Gabriel, then think about the possible consequences. If you kill him, it may start another great war. If that happens, the possibility of her being involved in battles that may end her life will be absolutely high. Greg was right, if I continue I may put Gabriel-san in trouble, though my body was thirsting to finish him, my mind telling me to stop and follow Gabriel-san's teachings. Deciding to do what's right, I let go of Gabriel's body and watched as he fell lifelessly into the ground. I punched my palm with my other hand in annoyance to let a bastard trying to harm Gabriel-san live. I feel like vomiting for this decision, but I also need to think about other beings as well. Aside from Gabriel-san, devils and humans will also be affected if a war happens. And I should focus on defeating my rival. As I calmed down, I felt the power leaving my body. Though the armor was still there, I felt that my blood started to cool, and also my urge to kill Gabriel also vanished. Udo, I hope you won't do something reckless like this again. After the battle incident with Gabriel, Kiba-kun received Gremory-senpai's sermon with additional 1000 spanks on his bottom. Thankfully, some leaders from the fallen angel's side came to retrieve Gabriel's limp body. I have to admit that the fallen angel Shimhaza-san doesn't have any evil intent or dark aura beside him. Maybe not all fallen angels are evil and insane, but I'm glad that you're safe. I'm also happy for the fact that you've achieved Balance Breaker and you've also avenged your comrades. Yes, aside from me who accidentally achieved Balance Breaker because of extreme anger, Kiba-kun has also reached his Balance Breaker. I heard that he was able to create holy demonic swords because from the fact that the god and the original Mayus are now dead, the balance has been greatly disturbed. Kiba-kun also said that Gabriel declared that the god from the Bible was already dead. Shimhaza-san, despite wanting to keep it a secret, confirmed that the death of the god was real. But I'm really surprised that you're able to achieve a balance breaker despite having only been aware a day ago. Beside me, Zenobia muttered. She and Asia-san will be staying here from now on. If you want to know why, it's because they've turned into devils. Apparently, when they discovered that the god from the Bible is long dead, they felt that their lives were meaningless. And because of the complicated things happening, Zenobia decided to become a devil. Since she knows the absence of God, the church will treat her as an outsider. Asia-san, who was in the same position, also joined Gremory-senpai's peerage. As for Irina, she returned into the church while crying non-stop. But Ice, the absence of God, you already knew that, right? Gremory-senpai asked and I weakly nodded. I never really thought that God was really dead, but I also chose not to believe because I was also a Christian. I just wonder if Gabriel-san has already accepted this truth. If Irina, who was only a human, was very sad, I'm sure that Gabriel-san would also have a hard time accepting it, even if God died thousands of years ago. But after this incident, I am sure that I won't get involved in any more troubles. I don't really want to be involved in anything like this ever again. I'm only a 16 years old teenager that wants to live normally. But Ice, since you've become a part in defeating Gabriel. No, since you're the one who defeated Gabriel, you need to be present in the upcoming peace meeting. Peace meeting? Yes, because of Gabriel's careless act, a war almost broke. That's why, to prevent another war from happening, the leaders of the three great powers decided to have a meeting. Is that so? I also need to attend, huh? Voicing my troubles, Gremory Senpai leaned closer and whispered something. Ask Gabriel about the details, I'm sure that she has something to say. I don't know why, but I suddenly felt that something wrong will happen later that night. I was dead right. When I arrived, I immediately saw Gabriel-san sitting on the sofa holding a cup of tea and having a stern expression on her face. I received her sermon and lecture about the dangers that I faced without realizing. I also took reprimands about fighting carelessly and taking damage directly. There was also a lecture about awakening the balance breaker with my anger. Now I know what Gremory Senpai meant with her statement earlier. Anyway, because it's summer break, you are free to go into the sea. Just don't get involved in any fights concerning inhuman enemies, understand? Why yes. After those words, Gabriel-san revealed a gentle smile as she gestured me to seat beside her. She went into the kitchen and brought me her handmade food. I devoured the magnificent food while shedding tears from emotions, since I was eating the food that was made by Gabriel-san. It's very delicious. I'm glad that you like IT. Somehow changing to the loving big sister, Gabriel-san revealed a delighted smile as she watched me eat. Just like a good wife, she served drinks and prepared desserts for me, who was feeling ecstasy from eating such a good food. That's right, to a man's heart is through his stomach after all. Gabriel-san, what is it? I suddenly stopped eating because for some reason, Gabriel-san, who was watching me eat a few moments ago, was now behind and hugging me tightly. I can feel her breathing on my neck, especially the soft things that was forced onto my back. Ice, promise me that you'll never do something reckless that may end your life. I was stunned for a moment. Gabriel-san's voice was full of sadness and worry. Do you know how worried I was when I discovered that you fought that fallen? I was so worried that I attacked a base of the fallen angels and demanded to have a serious talk with Azazel. I almost attacked him because he wasn't watching over his subordinates. I was lucky that Michael was able to stop me. Gabriel-san did something like that, that sure is scary. Please Ice, never make me that worried again. I know that you'll get involved with fierce battles because of the power of the Sekiryute to attract the strong. But please, avoid battles if you can. I can't bear the thought of you being hurt or dying. I want to spend more years with you. This voice, does this really belong to Gabriel-san? The strict sister aura that changed to loving sister has now reached the cute younger sister aura. Is this even possible for Gabriel-san? But Gabriel-san was doing this because of me. She became worried because I was doing something dangerous. I understand, Gabriel-san, and I'm very sorry to worry you. I'll never do something reckless like that again. I held Gabriel's hand and turned my face until our face was only an inch close. Gabriel-san's beautiful face was still showing her worry, and her clear blue eyes were almost releasing tears. I promise, Gabriel-san, so please don't be worried anymore. I can't stop worrying if it concerns you. Wow, what's with this atmosphere? It's very weird. This is definitely weird. If someone saw this, they will definitely think that Gabriel-san and I are lovers. Because of this intimate scene, I was holding her hand and my other hand were placed on her curvy hips while my face was leaning towards her as if I was preparing to kiss her. But looking towards her beautiful eyes was very addicting. I can't look away because I was engrossed on the most beautiful woman in heaven. I really think that I should finish the food that Gabriel-san prepared. Deciding to end the weird atmosphere, I began to continue eating the food that Gabriel-san prepared. Though I cannot distinguish the taste because I was too nervous, I even ate the chili by accident. Gabriel-san was still staring at me with a little shade of red on her face. But even when I'm deliberately not making eye contact with her, I noticed something about her. Why does her aura keep flickering into a dark color? After finishing my dinner, I went to my room to change clothes. Gabriel-san was still on the living room while praying for whatever reason. It's been a few minutes, but my heartbeat wasn't slowing. After that incident with her, my heart pounded faster and it showed no signs of slowing down. What was that? This feeling is just like when I'm with you, Uma. I honestly didn't think about me and Gabriel being lovers at all. Since I was raised by her, I always look up to Gabriel as my elder sister, and I never fantasized about anything, but it seems that my heart wasn't listening to my brain. Besides, I had never touched Gabriel-san's hips before, nor stared directly at her beautiful eyes at such a close range. I know that this will not help, but should I remind you how she healed you from that incident about the fallen angel woman? Seriously, Drake, don't tell me. I don't even have the courage to discuss anything related to the fallen angels because of that thing. Also, my heart never calms down when I remember what happened. Gabriel-san used her bow body to heal me overnight. Ice, I'm coming in. Without even knocking on the door, Gabriel entered my room and headed towards the bed. She sat on the edge while staring at the night sky through the window while I was panicking and deciding what to say. The peace treaty will happen by the end of this week. You need to attend there. I heard that from Gremory-senpai. The awkward silence began, though normally I have a lot of things to say, it seems that I have forgotten all of them. I simply stared at the beautiful woman that was sitting silently. I sighed as I grabbed an iced tea on the mini fridge inside the room. Mustering the will to sit beside her, I also stared at the night sky. I'll sleep now, you should also rest, Ice. I'm sure that you're tired after having a battle with the fallen Gabriel. Occupying the other half of the bed, Gabriel-san muttered. Yes, I gave a sigh of relief as I buried my face on the soft pillow and stretched my legs. It has been a very tiring day. I had a fierce battle with a leader-class fallen angel Gabriel. I also achieved balance breaker and released a massive amount of rage filled with hatred. Beside me, Gabriel-san started to caress my hair while humming a lullaby with her beautiful voice. I simply enjoyed the feeling as I closed my eyes and went to dreamland. Good night, Gabriel-san, sweet dreams, Ice. Strange, am I dreaming? As soon as I closed my eyes, I found myself in this white place. Apart from me, there were peoples from all ages and both gender. But they weren't moving or whatsoever, no emotions and no signs of life. Who are they? They are the past Sekiryutes. They awakened my power, but they were all killed by that. You mean by Juggernaut Drive? That's right. They were killed by the thing called Juggernaut Drive, they became a tyrant and because of that reason they died. I see, so these were my senpais who lost themselves while in the use of the Juggernaut Drive. I wonder why did they used it? To protect someone? To avenge someone? Or simply to kill someone? They were consumed by rage and drunk with power. The reason why they activated the Juggernaut Drive was because they were addicted to power. Just because of that reason. These senpais died because they want the power that rivaled those of gods and demon kings. What kind of reason is that? You should know that, after all, you also desired power when you battled that fallen angel. Just like them, you also desired power to beat someone who's stronger than you. Then Drake, let's try something different than the Juggernaut Drive. Different power. What do you mean? Let's awaken a power different from the Juggernaut Drive. A power that will allow us to draw a heavenly dragon's true power without being triggered by strong sadness nor anger. Kukuku, what an interesting host. You've only awakened a day ago, and now you're trying to bring out my power without the Juggernaut. Yes, since the Juggernaut Drive only drives the user to become mad. I want to have a power that will not bring destruction but hope. That's the power that the god from the Bible owned, right? Power that brings hope. How weird, but let's give it a shot, partner. But what power? I don't really know anything since I only awakened a day ago. What can be the source of this power? Dragon Emperor, eh? What's that? That's the ability to transform into a heavenly dragon. The strongest Sekiryute tried to master that power, but sadly she failed, and that became the cause of her death. So how is it Issei? Will you still try to master that power even if your life will be at risk? I promised Gabriel that I'll never do something reckless, but I guess this doesn't count. Because I'll definitely succeed. That's why let's try our best. Waking up from the chirping birds outside of the house, I lazily opened my eyes. The first thing to do this weekend is exercise, but today I feel like going back to sleep. But because I need to make breakfast for myself, I was forced to get up from bed. A pair of white arms was wrapped at my body. The owner of this arms was none other than Gabriel-san. I silently stared at her beautiful face for a minute before struggling to be free from her chain-like hug. UWAA. Because of my movements, Gabriel-san woke up and rubbed her eyes. But she didn't release me yet, instead she returned to sleep while hugging me even tighter. But I guess that it's okay, since I also feel great when I'm being hugged by her. The smooth soft skin of hers was very comfortable to touch, not to mention that her scent was very intoxicating. Hey Ice, I already prepared breakfast, you can eat now if you want. Let's eat together, UN. Nodding with a smile, Gabriel cuddled closer until our face was only few inches apart. My heart began to beat wildly again, because from fear, nervousness and lastly, excitement. The sleeping face of Gabriel was very dangerous. Even I who looks up to her as a sister cannot stop staring at her face. That's right, I'll meet up with some friends today. I'll also buy swimming trunks for this summer, though I don't plan on going in the beach, I will go at the swimming pool in the academy. I just hope that I won't be alone in the swimming pool, I might drown. So COMFORTABLE having Gabriel beside me really makes me calm. And the feeling of her body is also good, I guess that I can call this an angel's hug. Being this close to her face was very bad, my heart wasn't slowing at all, and the worst part is her lips were almost touching mine. I tried to turn away, but because of the muscle ache from my neck, I couldn't. That moment, I felt a pair of soft lips touching mine. Gabriel leaned forward and gave me a full kiss on the lips. The feeling was great. Her lips were soft and warm. Damn it, my heart began to beat faster than earlier. This is really awkward. Just when I'm panicking, I felt Gabriel's hug tightened and her kiss began to be forceful. She was awake. Gabriel was doing this deliberately. Being shocked because of the sudden kiss, I unconsciously opened my mouth. Gabriel took that moment to enter her tongue into my mouth. A tongue kiss for real. I immediately pulled away and looked at Gabriel. It's fine. Without even hearing my complaints, Gabriel leaned again and planted a kiss into my lips. This time it was gentle and full of passion, though I really wanted to ask her questions. I silently accepted her kiss and enjoyed it. Gabriel entered her tongue again, and I let out a small voice in surprise. With her moving on top of me, she released my body from her hug and started to kiss me non-stop. Crazy sighs of affection can be heard escaping from my mouth. My hands was firmly placed into her perfect hips. Gabriel's hands were clutching my shoulders, adding force to it to make sure that I won't leave. It reached that point where I needed air again, and I pulled away while panting heavily. I'm sorry, Ice, but your body is filled with lights. If I don't disperse them, you'll have problems with some parts of your body, Gabriel said while her forehead was touching mine. I simply smiled while saying it's okay, and as I gasped for air, I again received a kiss from her. It lasted for almost half an hour before Gabriel stopped. Traces of saliva can be seen from our lips, and my face was burning from embarrassment and arousal. Gabriel's face was also red, but there was a delightful smile attached in her beautiful face. Is it over? It was over since the first kiss. Gabriel said it with a smile before standing up. She held my hand and helped me to stand, seeing that my whole body was shaking because from the shock. Sorry, Ice, I never thought that kissing you will be that good. Assisting me to walk, Gabriel and I headed towards the living room where the breakfast was already set in the table. Without saying anything, I began to eat the food that was prepared by Gabriel. Though I was eating, Gabriel was staring at me with a gentle smile placed on her face. On the other hand, I was still recovering from my first kiss. I never imagined that Gabriel-san will take it, and I also never thought that she will continue to kiss me for almost half an hour. Don't be surprised, partner, Gabriel has taken your first kiss a long time ago. I'm not in the mood to have that kind of talk drag. Even if she did that, I couldn't remember. Besides, I want to calm down. My heart is beginning to ache because of beating rapidly for the past minute. The food is really great. I'm glad that you like it. The same goes for the Kai kiss. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Replying to me without the slightest hint of nervousness, Gabriel seemed very delighted. I guess I should feel honored that one of the great Saras kissed me. Yeah, let's put it that way. After all, I also enjoyed our kiss. And Gabriel-san also seemed to enjoy our kiss earlier, I guess. Don't worry, Ice, I also enjoyed our kiss. Though I overdid it, Gabriel said as if reading my thought. She began to eat while maintaining the perfect smile on her face. I also smiled a little, knowing that Gabriel also enjoyed kissing me. After the breakfast, Gabriel-san returned to the heavens while I left and headed towards the game center. My friends, it seems that I lost the sense of time because there were only a few people left in the game center. Though I feel that it's nighttime, it's very weird to have this less people in the most popular arcade in town. Ah, so this is the new race game, huh? Hey boy, mind if we play? The sudden boy spoke. I quit the match as I stared at the person behind me. He was a tall handsome man with a bad boy aura around him, but I don't feel any ill intent from him. It seems that he simply wants to play this newly released game. Ah sure, but I'll warn you that I'm the top scorer for this game. Is that so? Then let's play. Sticking the game card in the slot, the man activated the 2P mode and began to choose his car. Being the challenger, I let him choose the map and the set of laps. As the game started, I gained the advantage and passed the first lap with a new speed record, but the man soon caught up to me and he's in the verge of passing me. This can't be. I won't lose to some stranger. It seems like your fighting spirit is rising, boy. No, Sekiryute-kun. Feeling a shiver running down on my spine, I looked at the man beside me. Who are you? I am the leader of the fallen angels, Azazel. Just as the man said that, 12 jet black wings appeared from his back. No need to worry, I just came to observe the Sekiryute that defeated Kakabiel. The Hakuryuku requested me to do it. Azazel let out a sigh as he finished the third lap. He was not doing anything besides playing the game. I looked around and I found out that the few people in the arcade was also fallen angels. I recognized one of them as Shimhaza-san. Sorry, they also requested to come, since they thought that I might accidentally annoy you and cause an interruption on the incoming peace meeting. Do they think that I'm an idiot? What do you want, Azazel? Just came to check the Sekiryute, since I find you interesting. You awakened only a day ago, but you managed to defeat an exiled devil and achieved balance breaker while defeating Kakabiel. You're also the kid that was raised by that Gabriel who almost attacked me yesterday. About that I have no idea that Gabriel-san would do that. Haha, neither do I. But that only proves that she was very attached to you. You should have seen her eyes when she arrived and killed middle-class fallen angels just to find me, those eyes full of anger and hatred, much scarier than Hades's. Is that so? Yeah, she kept yelling, Azazel you bastard. If something happens to my eyes I will burn you with my light. Jeez, she was very enraged. It's not my fault that Gabriel betrayed the Grigori. Eh? Gabriel-san did those things. She's very scary. Ah, sorry for the trouble, don't worry about that, the fallen angels that she killed were also traitors. One of them was Renal, the woman that almost killed you. Biuma. Well if that's the case then I guess I'm happy. Just when I'm rejoicing from the death of that woman, Shimhaza-san walked towards me with an apologetic look on his face. I'm sorry Sekiryuite Dono, but Azazel is a sacred gear maniac, so he wanted to study your sacred gear. Also, the fallen traitor Gabriel was sealed inside the Cocytus for treason. Ah, I'm glad that he was sealed. I hate that Warfriak. Yeah me too, he always ruins my sacred gear research ha. Damn I got the new high score. Somehow being able to achieve a new record, Azazel cheered. I can't understand this fallen angel. As the weekend approached, Gremory-senpai sent me a letter about the upcoming peace meeting. I need to be present in the meeting along with the Hakuryuku, the mass, and the leader of the fallen angels. Azazel will make sure that no fight between the two heavenly dragons will start. Though I was very worried since I will face my rival for the first time, what if he's terribly scary? No, I shouldn't show him my weak side. I got the Dragon Emperor mode, though I can only use it for a minute, I'm sure that I can have the advantage. But what if that 1 minute isn't enough to defeat him? Azazel did say that the Hakuryuku was the strongest in history of the divine diving possessors. And if I couldn't defeat him in 1 minute, I will lose all my power and collapse for a week because of the backlash from the Dragon Emperor mode. Calm down partner, though you're weak, you will be the strongest, so don't fear the Hakuryuku. Easier said than done. It was already midnight when I arrived at the school. I was wearing black jeans and a white shirt with a blazer. Though I didn't fix my hair I guess this is good enough, I'm not going to talk to the leaders of the three factions anyway. Well, maybe I'll do, since Gabriel-san will be there after all. Ah hi do, so you're here. Ah. What's with that outfit? Are you gonna fish some girls in the meeting? No, you must have been in a party with Bishaojus earlier. Ah, damn it I hate you. Die you good-looking bastard. Greeting me was Saji, the servant of Sona Kaichu. He was wearing the usual Kuo Academy uniform, and it seems that he was sent here to pick me up. And as usual, he's still annoyed by me. Right, let's go to the room, the meeting will start soon. Smiling bitterly at Saji, he glared at me saying, don't give your prince smile at me you bastard. I just followed him silently towards the said place. Excuse us, the Sekiryuite has arrived, Saji said while opening the door. I got a little nervous and Saji told them about me. Damn this guy. I'll beat him up later. As he opened the door and there was the gorgeous and pompous looking table. And as if surrounding it, people who I recognize are sitting. The air is enveloped by quietness and everyone had a serious face. From the devil's side, there was a crimson-haired man who greatly resembled Gremory-senpai. He must be the current Lucifer. Beside him was a cosplaying girl who looks like a Nao Shoujo. Must be the older sister of Sona Kaichu that Saji told me stories about. There was also a silver-haired one-Isan serving tea. From the angel's side, there was a handsome man with 12 gold wings must be Michael Sama. Gabriel-san was also there while smiling at me. From the fallen angel's side, there was Azazel and a handsome-looking guy who was staring at me with interested eyes. He must be the Hakuryuku. I was right, the boy in front of me was the Hakuryuku, but I didn't felt any hostility nor ill intent from him, he just stared at me with interested eyes. While Azazel was reading a manga in front of the angels. What guts this guy have? The Sekiryuite and the newly reincarnated devil, Lucifer Sama introduces us to the other VIPs of the other faction. Saji bowed, and I also followed. In the attack of Gabriel a few days ago, they were active during the battle. I have heard the report. I give my thanks once more. Michael Sama says his thanks to Gremory-senpai. Senpai conducts herself coolly and nodded. Sorry, Gabriel of my side caused you trouble. Without a timid expression, Azazel says it. What an attitude. Sit on the seats over there. Taking Lucifer Sama's direction, Saji and I took the seats near Sona Kaichu and Gremory-senpai. Is it me or is Saji sweating heavily? Well he must be nervous I guess well, I also feel nervous from the stare of the Hakuryuku. Seeing that we're all here, Lucifer Sama spoke. Now that everyone has arrived, I'll say the preconditions for the meeting. The people present here acknowledge the most important event and forbidden subject. The non-existence of God. Then, acknowledging that, let's continue the conversation. Like this, with Lucifer Sama's sentence the conference between the great powers began. Now then, Riaz. Could you speak about the incident a few days before? Yes, Lucifer Sama. After being urged by Surzicha Sama, Butchu, Kaichu and Akeno-san stood up, they talked about apart continuously, about the recent Gabriel's attack. and everyone belonging to the three great powers hear about it. Gremory-senpai talked about the summary of the incident she experienced herself plainly in a calm manner. Maybe due to maximum level nervousness, those hands were shaking after all. Due to her speech, something with the three great powers may change. No matter how courageous Gremory-senpai is, this place's atmosphere would be very painful. Besides, Gremory-senpai is around the same age as me and a girl. Each of the faction's VIPs who heard the report was letting out a sigh, scowling, smiling. Each person had a different reaction. That is all. The report which Ria's Gremory and the household devils over there experienced. Gremory-senpai, who had said everything, had finally seated on Lucifer-sama's good work. Sit down. Good work, senpai. Now then, Azazel. After hearing this report, I want to hear the opinion of the governor of the fallen angels. Upon Lucifer-sama's questioning, everyone's gaze concentrates on the black-haired governor. Azazel started talking after letting out an intrepid smile. Regarding the incident a few days back, Gabriel, a leader of our central organization, Grigori, kept quiet to the other leaders, as well as to me, the governor, and acted independently. His disposal was done by the securite over there. After that, in the organization's court-martial, his punishment was enforced. His punishment is eternal freezing in the Cossetus. He can't come out anymore. The explanation for that, everything was written in the material that was forwarded to you, right? That is all. Mentioning me on the process, each of the leaders stared at me with varying expressions. I just sighed and forced myself to ignore their stares. Michael-sama says while sighing. As the explanation, it is the worst category, but I know about the story of you personally not wanting to make anything big occur against us. Is that true? I don't have any interest in wars. When Gabriel also disparaged me, don't you have the report for that as well? Yes, as Azazel said, Gabriel said quite a lot of bad stuff about his bosses. He's a person who's passive about wars and only has an interest in sacred gears. This time Lucifer-sama asks Azazel. Azazel, I want to ask one thing, but why have you been gathering owners of sacred gears for the past decades? At first I thought you were gathering humans and attempting to augment your battle potential. I even anticipated you to wage war against Heaveneros, but yes, no matter how much time passed, you didn't wage a war against us. When I heard you got hold of the vanishing dragon, I was enveloped by a strong wariness. Michael-sama's opinion was the same as Lucifer-sama's. Hearing the two's opinion, Azazel smiles bitterly. It's for the sake of sacred gear research. If that's the case, should I send a part of the research materials to you as well? Even if I did research, I wouldn't wage a war against you or anything. I don't have any interest in war at this late of an hour. I am perfectly satisfied with the world right now. I have strongly ordered my subordinates, don't interfere with the human world's politics, you know. I have no intention of intervening in religion either, nor to influence the business of the devils. Damn, is my trust in the three factions the least? That's true. That's right. Lucifer-sama's and Michael-san's opinion coincided. How far is he not trusted, the governor of the fallen angels? Gee. I thought you were better than God or the last generation's Lucifer, but you guys are troublesome guys yourselves. Sneakily researching doesn't get along well with you, huh? I got it. Then, let's make peace. Originally wasn't that the intention as well? Angels and devils as well. Peace. Wait, doesn't that mean they desire peace together? On Azazel's sentence, each faction was surprised for a small interval. Gremory-senpai beside me, and even Sona Kaichu besides her are considerably surprised. It seems like Azazel's peace speech was quite a thing to be surprised at. It can't be, it seems if it's presented by him. Michael-sama, who was surprised by Azazel's proposal, smiled. Yes, I also plan to propose peace to the devil's side and Grigori. Even if we continue the relationship of the three factions like before, then it will become damaging to the world right now. I, the leader of the angels, say it since the original cause of the war, God and Mayu-sama have been annihilated. Michael-sama said that he wants peace in this interval. So, he's now the replacement of God. Well, he's the very first angel God created. Lucifer-sama also says the same opinion. We are the same. Even if the Mayu isn't here, in order to continue the species, devils too have moved forward as well. Even we wouldn't want war. If we do another war, the devils will be destroyed. Yes, since the devils and angels are having troubles to expand their race. Without the God in mass, this is sure a bad situation to wage war on any sides. Yes. If we do another war, the three factions will definitely be mutually destroyed. And then, it will affect the human world as well, and the world will end. We can't do wars now. Some time ago Azazel had a joking mood, but it's done a complete change, and he has a serious expression. Do you think a world without God is wrong? Do you think a world without God would decay? I am sorry to say, but that isn't the case. Me and you as well are both healthily living like this. Azazel said that while opening his arms. The world moves even without a God. Yes, I understand Azazel, even in this world without God, I lived. Even if I was abandoned my family, a miracle still happened, and when I wanted to protect someone, I was bestowed by the power that rivaled those of gods. Even if the god is dead, the world will continue to move and progress. As if sensing something wrong with my expression, Gabriel-san, Michael-sama, Lucifer-sama, even the hacker Yuku stared at me. Yes, the world will definitely continue to move even without a god. Thanks for watching this video. Part 2 is over. If you really enjoy this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification. Don't forget to support the Sir Juis High for writing that awesome fanfic. See you in the next video. Goodbye.